All right, we are back. Another week 8 HSL basketball power rankings. We are closing in on the final week of HSL basketball as we have HSL softball, spring softball, um, coming up this Sunday. We got a lot going on. As you can see, I'm all over the place. My way I'm talking right now, I'm doing a million things, but it's very good. But we always make time to get up here and go through power rankings. So we had the softball power rankings for week 1. Yesterday, a lot of controversy in that. And now we're glad to bring you another week of basketball power rankings. This is episode 67. Wow, pretty crazy. Okay, so we had a very eventful week in HSL basketball, a lot of moving pieces, and a lot of very good races going into week 8 for the playoffs. So let's get it right into this here. We have MS Motors staying at 14 in the power rankings, took another rough loss to Olin Realty. They'll be closing out their season next week. Verse is Addictive Bad Symbols by Shoyu coming at the 13 in the power rankings, another loss to Jules by DK. Addictive Bad Symbols by Shoyu looking to end off their season with a win. They're currently 0-7, and they're playing MS Motors. Should be a good matchup. Coming in at number 12 and taking a very rough loss, and now in a very tough spot to make the playoffs is Law Offices of Roman Aminoff, Boris M Tax Planning. They took a very tough loss to um, Day 3 Rise to Fly, which then puts them into a three-way tiebreaker right now with Gordon Companies and Annie's Kitchen Lot Pizzeria, which we'll get into. So they moved down 3 spots. They lost a tough one to Day 3 Rise to Fly. They brought, I'm not even sure a couple of the guys they brought. They're bringing in subs every week. Like I said, they're very consistent with regulars. I don't know who they're going to have for the playoffs, even if they do sneak in. So they'll be number 12. Coming in at number 11 is Barbacoa. They lost to Have Construction this past week. Um, Now I'm thinking about it. I probably should have put Law Office of Roman Aminoff, Boris and Tax Planning ahead of Barbacoa, being that Barbacoa is eliminated from the playoffs. Probably a mistake on my end, so we could swap that. Put Barbacoa at 12, Law Office at 11. Barbacoa will finish out their season this coming week. Verse is Jules by DK. Coming at number 10, also taking a very tough loss this week is Gordon Companies. Gordon Companies would have clinched the playoffs final to win. Now they're, like I said before, in a three-way tie for the final 2 wildcard spots. Um, they lost to Annie's Kitchen Lot Pizzeria, who finally showed up with their regular team. It was a battle of Jack Ross versus the three-point shooters, and the three-point shooters ultimately prevailed. They won by 12 or 13 points. A much-needed win. And again, going to week 8, we now have a three-way tie. Annie's Kitchen Lot Pizzeria, Gordon Companies, and Boris M Tax Planning Law Office of Roman Aminoff. They each beat each other once. So they're all 1-1 in the 3 teams, so it goes to point differential. If all 3 of the teams were to win/lose this week, Boris M Tax Planning Law Officer Roman Aminoff would not make the playoffs. Right now, Annie's Kitchen Lot Pizzeria has the highest point differential. Gordon Companies is the second, and Boris Law Officer Roman Aminoff is the third. So they would be eliminated. However, there is a chance that Boris would win and Gordon would lose, or Annie's would lose, and if 2 of them win and 1 of them lose, or 2 of them lose and 1 of them win, we go to tiebreakers, head to head, or just better record. So we'll see what happens. A lot of big games coming up this week. Coming in at number 9 is Annie's Kitchen Lot Pizzeria, who had that big win over Gordon Companies. They move up 3 spots, and they'll be in the 9 in the power rankings going into week 8. Coming in at number 8 is Have Construction. Have Construction finally pulling it together a little bit, bringing in a couple more regulars this past week. They beat Barbacoa. They are pretty much locked into the 5 seed and in the division. I'm locked into the second spot in the wild card. Right on the wild card, Fly Vipers are 1, and Have Construction is 2, and we have the last few teams battling out for 3 and 4. Coming in at number 7 with another win, going 6-1 now, is Day 3 Rides to Fly. Still not getting any love from me. It could be due to strength of schedule. They beat a lot of weak teams this season. The way the division worked out, they had a pretty easy run. So they will remain number 7, even though they are tied in first place in the Wall Street Girl division going to the final week with Ling Home Care, and tied in three-way tie in second place overall for the best record in the league. I still think they should be number 7. They have a lot of really good players. I do think they can beat anybody. However, I do think compared to the other teams, this is a spot for them to be in. Coming at number 6, Jules by DK, a fairly easy win over Addictive Bad Symbols by Shloyo. They're actually tied at halftime, but they pulled away pretty easily in the second half. They will remain the same. Coming in at number 5 and moving down 3 spots was the game of the week. We had under 510 Pipe Doctor with a statement win over Fly Vipers. Fly Vipers had all of the regulars. Under 510 Pipe Doctor had all the regulars. And it was really in the second half a blowout. Last 10 minutes, 15 minutes, under 510 Pipe Doctor really controlled the game, up by 12 to 16 points almost all the second half. A really just disappointing showing for the Fly Vipers. They'll fall to 5. They are knocked down to the wild card, so they'll have to win an extra game before they get to the quarterfinals. Coming in at number 4 is under 510 Pipe Doctor, moving up 1 spot, once again ahead of the Fly Vipers in the power rankings. And they had a very, very a big statement win, dominant win, and they're riding high going into the playoffs. 1 week left. They're also 6-1. They're locked into the second seed in the King Venture division. Coming in at number 3 is Royal Adjuster. Royal Adjuster played Link Home Care, the game of the season last night. What a game it was. It was intense. It was competitive. We'll get into Link Home Care in a second. The reason why Royal Adjuster moves up one with the loss is because I don't think Link Home Care came with their full squad, including Ariel swing back from the IL. I don't think I've seen Link Home Care exert as much energy into winning a game as I've ever seen. The game was extremely back and forth. It was, Fly was within one or up by one with like 7 minutes left, 8 minutes left. Link eventually pulled away, won by 12 or 13 like they usually do. However, this was full steam ahead from the beginning of the game for Link. Easter Wasser had a fantastic game. Great all around. It was a very close game. I do have to mention that Royal Adjuster as well was missing the big man Benarouche, I think you pronounce his name. They're missing their high school. I think they're high school kids from DRS who are also really athletic. They did pick up our boy Devere's brother, Devere, who is a fantastic athlete, incredible player. So I don't know how much it equaled out. They're also missing Vogel. But it was a great game, and hopefully we get to see that matchup again. But for that reason, Royal Adjuster, even with the loss, will move up one spot to the 3. Coming in at number 2 and back where they belong is Olam Realty. I do owe an apology to Olam Realty for dropping them under Vly. That might have been a mistake on my end, but they are back. They are 7-0, and they have a big game coming up this week against Link Home Care. Undefeated Olam Realty versus the 6-1 Link Home Care. So we'll see how that plays out. Coming in at number 1 is Link Home Care, beating Royal Adjuster, proving once again that they are the kings of the HSL for now. They keep on, coming in and proving everyone wrong. 6-1, a win this week, and they get Wall Street Grill. If they lose, and Day 3 Rides to Fly wins, Day 3 Rides to Fly against Wall Street Grill. So we'll see what happens. But a lot of good matchups. The times are yet to be, times and days are yet to be confirmed. Waiting on captains to get back to me. Hopefully there won't be too much turmoil. But we're looking forward. Week 8 coming up. HSL softball coming up this Sunday, waiting for the jerseys to arrive here so I can go get the softballs from the garage and drop it off by the captains. So hopefully that comes soon. Gridiron Gauntlet, the HSL flag football tournament, April 6th. We are looking forward to that as well. Once again, want to shout out our amazing sponsors. We want to shout out King Ventures for being our league sponsor for the spring. Want to shout out Smash House for being our softball sponsor for the spring, and of course Town Appliance for being HSL's corporate sponsor for the full 2025 season. Thank you guys again. We wouldn't be able to do this without you. It really means a lot. We are working every day to continue to pump out content for all of our sponsors. Almost 50 sponsors now. It's pretty intense, and just less under 1 year. We're actually 3 days away. March 10th is the 1 year anniversary for the HSL being born, or I would say since we bought out the Hillcrest Softball League, and now HSL. Pretty crazy. March 10th, 1 year anniversary. Anyways, we'll see you guys March 9th. Stay tuned for some good content. We're going to have the highlights going up of basketball from last night on Monte Shabbos, together with our 6th through 8th grade playoff that happened last night. Shout out to Smash House for advancing to the championship. We're looking forward, guys. Hopefully you guys continue to tune in. We're just going to get, more and more content coming your way. A lot of fun, a lot of sports leagues, a lot of push for a basketball spring league. We'll see if that happens. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Appreciate it. See you guys soon.